The latest episode of House of the Dragon was a lot. After all these shocking events, what can we anticipate in episode 7 after all of this? Episode 6 had taken place 10 years after the wedding of Rhaenyra and Laenor Velaryon. The characters changed and grew more into themselves and their personalities. But the most noticeable change was the replacement of the actors for their older counterparts. It was an introduction for emmyd'arcy and Olivia Cooke in their roles of Princess Rhaenyra and Queen Alicent. And what an introduction it was. The latest episode gave us two women on their childbirth beds, one with a happy ending and the other with a tragic one. We've seen Rhaenyra giving birth to her third son, Joffrey. She barely had time to catch her breath after the process and was summoned to Queen Alicent. The thing is that her children are rumoured to be the sons of Harwin Strong, a commander in the City Watch, and Alicent couldn't help herself but add a jab to Laenor, the official father of Rhaenyra's children. Sooner or later, you'll get one that looks like you. Harwin Strong was also introduced to the child, which might or might not be his. He's really protective of those children for someone who is supposed to be only a knight in service of the crown. We've seen it in the scene where he attacks Sir Criston Cole for his little speech, and he was punished because of it. But fans cheered for him and his decision to finally give Criston his own medicine. Even with his small amount of screen time, people fell in love with his character. The farewell to his rumoured kids and Rhaenyra, the tears of fans were flowing for sure. But the next thing which happened was even worse. His brother, Larys Strong, wanted to be in the Queen's favour, so he made sure that Harwin would never return to King's Landing. Harwin passed together with his father, Lyonel Strong, at Harrenhal in a big fire. We've seen the bodies being carried out from the building, which were probably theirs. But is there any possibility that they could escape this ending? Undoubtedly, in the next episode, the news of Harwin's passing will make its way to the Princess of Dragonstone. Rhaenyra, with her blood of the dragon, won't take the news well. It would be really strange if she didn't, as Harwin was her rumoured lover and father of her children. She'll want to take her revenge on the people who are responsible for his passing. And who had the biggest problem with her baby daddy and her children? The answer is easy: Queen Alicent. She raised the question of the children's parentage several times during this episode, and Rhaenyra is aware of that. The princess might act with an assumption that it was Alicent's order to put Harrenhal into the fire, and her resentment towards Alicent will only grow. The peace that Rhaenyra tried to achieve with Alicent might come in vain. As a result, Princess Helena won't marry Rhaenyra's eldest son, Jacaerys Velaryon, and there will be no dragon egg for Prince Aemond. But her revenge might take a turn, which she didn't consider, and it could harm her own family even more, Laenor in particular. It's no secret that he prefers men to women, but he claims every one of Rhaenyra's children as his own for their and their mother's protection. But everybody knows that the children are not his. Well, maybe, except for our oblivious King Viserys. Their rights for inheriting the crown are already doubted, as they're considered bastards by the majority of the court. But as long as Laenor claims them as his own, no one can actually do anything about it. The family also has the protection of the king, who refuses to entertain the possibility of his grandsons being bastards. So the logical step for Rhaenyra's enemies would be to eliminate Laenor, and fans could see that the people around the queen are able to do that. Harwin Strong is the very example. It would be a shame if it really happened, but everything is possible in the world of Game of Thrones. There's also a possibility that it would be Daemon who will end his life in order to get, once again, close to Rhaenyra. He already violently attacked his former wife, Rhea Royce, so it wouldn't be surprising if he acted that way again. Laenor Velaryon's shocking passing was another tragic thing that happened in the last episode. There was no hope for her survival during childbirth, and as the absolute queen, she refused to leave this world on her bed, but rather on her own terms, a passing worthy of a Targaryen and dragon rider. With the last Dracarys, she perished in front of her husband, Prince Daemon. The rogue prince is now once again a widower and a father of two beautiful girls with a decision to make. His small family was offered to stay in Pentos in exchange for the town's protection, but Laenor was strongly against it. Her wish was to take the girls to her homeland Driftmark and raise them there. Daemon, however, tired of the games and betrayals, finally found peace and solitude with his family. Sadly, that abruptly changed. The passing of Laenor might be the final push for him to return to Westeros and take his place beside Rhaenyra. And we've seen from the promo pictures that Daemon will indeed return. Maybe he will meet his beloved niece and her children, and they will create one big family. What's more, with Laenor's passing, her beloved and biggest Targaryen dragon has no rider. It's custom for Targaryens to claim a dragon of their own. And we know that there are two people whose dragon eggs didn't match, and they're in need of the dragon. Laenor's daughter Rhaenyra and Alicent's son Prince Aemond. Rhaenyra is a better candidate as the dragon already knows her since childhood, but that might not be enough. Prince Aemond seems to be foolish enough to approach the biggest dragon in Westeros and accidentally bond with it. And teaser photos show us Aemond with an eye patch, so maybe his trip to claiming a dragon is the reason for his injury. If Aemond really bonded with Vhagar, it would be a great success for the slowly forming Rhaenyra's opposition. Aemond's eye injury might have a different reason, and the next episode could show us how he got the eye patch. If it was not for the dragon, it could be because of an accident with Rhaenyra's sons. All of the children train together with swords, and accidents tend to happen. The oldest one, Jace, already mocked Aemond for his lack of a dragon, together with Prince Aegon. The two of them made wings and put them on a pig, which was presented to Aemond as his new dragon. Aemond is a proud young man, and his ego had to hurt so bad at that moment, but he can't take revenge on his brother, so the next best target is Jace, which could quickly turn into violence. Also, with the king's hand passing, the position is now opened. There'll be many candidates for sure. Rhaenyra would be probably the best one, as she's supposed to rule the kingdom one day. So why shouldn't she already have a say in the state matters? Unfortunately, she moved from King's Land into Dragonstone to live in peace with her family and to escape the rumors. But the king has to choose his advisor, and he'll be pressured to do this as soon as possible. Will he choose a completely new person, or someone who already has experience in being the hand? With the king's health getting worse, it's very likely that he'll want someone experienced, and the queen might persuade him to choose one candidate in particular, her own father, Otto Hightower. Otto was the advisor of Viserys for many years until he was banished back to Old Town. We could see the reason for his banishment in episode 4, where he brought to the king news about Princess Rhaenyra. Otto accused her of having an affair with her uncle Prince Daemon, but the princess persuaded Viserys that Otto was manipulating him, and he saw the truth in her words. With Otto the very reason Rhaenyra was named as the heir to the Iron Throne, returning her claim on the crown would be in more danger than ever before. Yes, she was a great choice for the crown at the time, but Alicent gave birth to Viserys' sons. Since his birth, many lords believe that Aegon is the rightful heir because he's something that Rhaenyra isn't. A male. And Aegon is Otto's own grandson. Who wouldn't want to see their own blood on the throne? To strengthen Aegon's claim on the throne that could make him look even more Targaryen, they could marry him to his sister Helaena in true Targaryen incestuous fashion. Otto Hightower already made a similar proposition to the king when he asked Aegon to be married to Rhaenyra. The problem was that Rhaenyra is several years his senior, and Viserys refused the proposition at the very same moment. But in the case of his other children, he might be more willing to agree. Aegon and Helaena are similar in age and grew up together, and their potential children would be Targaryen, not only blood but also the name opposite to Rhaenyra and her Velaryon children. With Hightower's possible return, the opposition would be stronger than before, as Viserys is known to let his advisor decide the important things. But Viserys seems to be pretty determined about the rightness of his decision of his successor on the throne, and it's impossible to persuade him otherwise. Unfortunately, his condition worsens every time we see him on the screen. He seems to be weak and tired and almost dependent on Alicent's help. Rhaenyra's biggest supporter is slowly wasting away. The next episode will be interesting for sure. Are you ready for the next episode of House of the Dragon? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching.